Welcome back to Commercial Breaks with Miss Education. I'm Miss Education. Okay, so let's get right into it. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, maybe from a parent's perspective, or if you're educators from a perspective of an educator. I've had multiple conversations with parents, um, whether in the district, outside of the state, with teachers, again, whether in the district, outside of the district, or outside of the state. And everyone's saying something like there's something off. Everyone's noticing there is something off. And I have been holding on to this for a while. I've noticed in the last, 3 years that there is something totally off with our system. Something's just not adding up. The math ain't mathing, right? And I'm not able, I wasn't able to pinpoint what it was. And then I had these thoughts in my head as to what the problem could be. But then I was like, Jen, you sound crazy. This does not make sense. There's no way that what you're thinking is true. And, a few things, going down a few rabbit holes. There are others who are like saying the same thing I'm saying. I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm not crazy. But then the individuals who are saying this, many people think they're crazy. So I'm like, okay, so I'm part of the crazy group. And then, but what really gets me is when I speak to, parents and educators who aren't going down the same rabbit hole I'm in, and we all have the same conclusion. And what's crazy is many, especially educators, whether gift or curse, they feel comfortable talking to me. They're thinking the same thing, but nobody wants to speak. It's like this hush-hush secret, and nobody wants to speak on it. And it is driving me absolutely crazy. Not that no one wants to speak on it, just these thoughts that I'm having in my head are like, what is going on? Like, oh, does anyone, like, no one sees this? We are literally living in some crazy times. And so many of us are just going with the flow, not questioning anything, right? So I entitled this episode, Trading in Our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s for. And here, if you're a parent, I'm letting you know what we are trading, what the system is trading in. Instead of ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, I'll let you know what's really happening. And as educators, like many educators, put it this way, 95% of the educators agree. But again, it's hard to speak on this because there are repercussions, right? So families, parents, the system is trading your children's ABCs and 1, 2, 3s for SEL and LGB. That's what's happening. No longer are we truly teaching, at least the public, like the normal public school system, maybe charters, maybe private schools, I don't know. But the people I've been speaking to are public school educators. The parents that I've been speaking with are parents whose children go to traditional public schools. And everyone's saying the same thing. Too many of our children cannot read. These kids can't read. They can't compute. They can't write or spell. But the system is heavily pushing SEL. SEL stands for social emotional learning, right? Everyone has feelings, and everyone's feelings matter, and everyone's feelings need to be taken seriously, and their feelings come before education. And I get it, right? You're having a bad day, fine, let's talk about it. But we're doing too much. We're doing too much, and I'll elaborate. And also the other thing that we're trading in, right? ABCs 1, 2, 3s is for LGBTQIA2+. We are. I am going to say this, right? Not popular, but I feel that there is an agenda. There is a push to indoctrinate, right? It is what it is. To indoctrinate our children into a certain mindset, into a certain lifestyle. There's no reason why elementary schools, middle schools are pushing, promoting, encouraging this lifestyle, this mentality. That is not the place of the school system. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I 100% cannot vibe with that. That is something that takes place at home. That is a conversation that is with the family. And I know the argument is, well, the family may not be a safe space for these kids. It may be more detrimental to talk to the families because they can be against the lifestyle. Like, full disclosure, I'm not for the lifestyle. If my kids came home and said, "Mommy, I'm a member of the Rainbow Club," I would definitely be sad. Most I would be sad, disappointed, whatever the term is. I would be that. However, I love my child, right? And we would talk it out, figure out what's going on. What are you thinking? What happened? Whatever it is, there would be some questions. But granted, I will be sad, but I'm not going to harm my children. And for the system to step in and automatically assume that I am going to do something to my child is unfair and is a problem, right? The system, the matrix, is removing my parental rights. Regarding this SEL thing, the social emotional learning foolishness, I'm calling it what it is. It's foolishness. In the classroom, when I was in the classroom, I did a lot, I worked on the social emotional. And the truth is, I even wrote a book regarding social emotional because it's real, right? We do have feelings. We have things we need to address. But in the school system, it should not be the majority of a child's day. It should not be the majority of a curriculum. Children should not spend, a tenth, even 10%, a 10% of their time with the school therapist, right? If that's the case, then the family should be made aware, and that child should get professional outside help. Because what happens is, the more time that this child is spending outside of class and not getting their education, the further behind they fall. And that also messes with a child's social emotional, because when they come back to the class, they can't keep up. And if this is something that's happening on a regular basis, how many hours, how many days, how many weeks of education is that child missing? So now we really have a problem, because now the system is just going to move you up to the next grade, and you're really going to be behind. And that will mess with your social emotional state of mindset, or state of being. So our system, just putting it out there in case you didn't know, I'm letting you know that we aren't, and I say we because I work for the system. Something's off. We are not. We're harming. That's what it is. It is what it is. There's harm being done, and teachers are seeing this. Teachers are feeling this. I have teachers who call me up, again, different districts, different states, my own district, whatever, who call me up and they're like, "Jen, something is wrong. Why are these kids not reading? Why is it that, the district pushes these rigorous," they love the word rigorous, these rigorous curriculums. However, our children can't meet them. We're literally just teaching to 20% of the top kids. 20% can match and keep up with this curriculum. You got 80% of these babies who cannot keep up with this curriculum. What are we doing? At what point does common sense and love kick in, where we say, "Hey, sweetheart, you're in 5th grade and you read at a 3rd grade level. Well, let's start you at a 3rd grade level. Let's start there and work your way up." It is demoralizing for a child to come into school every day doing work on a 5th grade level when we all know this child is on a 3rd grade level. We are setting this child up for failure, day in and day out of failure. Why do I want to come back? Please, I can't wait to be 16 so I can drop out of this, because this game is not fun. This race, I'm bound to lose. What are we doing? Right? We have educators who are testing children on grade level material when they know for a fact that this child has a first grade reading level, yet the test is a fifth grade reading level test. These state exams, there's a lot of modification. Everyone's modifying stuff in the classroom, but then when it's time to take an assessment, the assessment is not modified. How does that make sense? We don't love these children. Something is wrong. A lot of the curriculum, just putting it out there, a lot of the curriculum is this inclusivity, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's just code word for LGBTQ plus AI, right? That's what that is. Safe space. Yeah, that's just another code word for LGBTQIAI plus TA. That's what that is. All of these things, they're just spaces. They're just spaces to push an agenda, a lifestyle. I don't know why they're doing. I actually do know why they're doing it, but that's another episode. But this is a space where we are sending our children to be indoctrinated. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. But it's the truth. Something is off, Father God. Something is off, and I am struggling to sit in it. I'm struggling to sit quietly in it. It hurts me to see to hear educators who are struggling because they want to do what's right. They want to do what's best for these kids, and they cannot. Their hands are tied because the system doesn't allow them to love these children the way they need to be loved, and the love is through their education. The system does not allow that. We spend, again, more time on the social emotional stuff than we do educating our kids. I'm putting this out there so that you as parents know, question the system. Question the system. Find out what's going on. And those educators, if there are any educators out there, you aren't crazy. You're not alone. There is something wrong. It is not you. It is literally the way that the system has I can't even say redesigned because this was the intention, but it's the way that the system is designed. They do not want our children to thrive. The public school system does not want our children to thrive. It is not you. And I hope that, you find it in your heart to do what's right and what's best for your children. Educators, teach them. Do the curriculum, right? Fine. But teach them on the side. If that kid is on a third grade level, teach what you have to teach, but then get another book, teach the same thing on a third grade level. Do what's best for those babies. We need to save them because the system doesn't care. I could go on and on. Trust, if anyone's ever had a one-on-one with me, I get very passionate and I say things that I cannot say fully right now. I have strong feelings about this because I get to see things that I didn't think were real, and I want to speak on it. Anyways, till next time. Wow, that was a quick 13 minutes on my end, let me tell you. Till next time. I'll continue this on another one. Commercial breaks from this education. See you soon.